Hello again. I'm joined by Sadik Shahadu, who's here to talk about the super simple Wikidata-powered info boxes, also known as Databox. But before we get into the main topic, can I ask you, Sadik, how did you first become interested in Wikidata, and what motivated you to start editing it?
Okay, thank you so much, Danny. I'm so excited to be presenting this session. So I got interested in Wikidata somewhere in 2017 when Asaf visited Ghana, the Ghanaian community, to introduce us to Wikidata. And before that, I had already started editing on Wikidata, but I wasn't really interested in, just like many other African communities, there wasn't so much interest in Wikidata. But when ASAP visited us, I got so much information and I really fell in love with Wikidata. And since then, it has been one of my favorite, I think the topmost wiki projects that I really love contributing to. And yeah, so that's how I found my way to like being an active editor on Wikidata. Yeah.
Great, thank you. And you're very active on Wikidata, but also on the other Wikipedias. Could you tell us a little why you recommend using Wikidata in Wikipedias that maybe like many African Wikipedias still have a relatively small but active community?
Yes. So I think Wikidata is one of the Wikimedia projects that allows you to be able to, work on different wikis or like Wikimedia projects. So if you understand how to use Wikidata or edit Wikidata, you probably have an easy way to, integrate Wikidata or several other tools that Wikidata currently uses to improve the quality of content on your language Wikipedia. So Wikidata is a powerful project that has very useful tools that would enable you to build your language Wikipedia, improving the quality of content, editing several aspects of your language Wikipedia, and just using content directly from Wikidata to improve your editing skills. Many other tools that Wikidata already has that is very useful to several smaller language Wikipedia communities like ours, and also even with the big Wikipedia languages, the bigger versions of Wikipedia. Yeah. So for Wikidata, I think it's something that I strongly encourage every new contributor to adapt and embrace, because once you understand Wikidata, you have a better understanding of how Wikimedia projects works and how they integrate with each other.
Cool, thank you. Then if we talk about Databox, I understand it's a template that can make editors' lives easier, creating a ready-to-use info box on their wiki. Do you have an example that you could show us?
Yes, so Wikidata Databox is a powerful tool that works quite similar like the traditional info box we have on the likes of English Wikipedia and many other language wikis. But the interesting thing about Databox is that it allows you to be able to automatically import Databox templates directly from Wikidata. When you install Databox on your language wiki, you are indirectly, connecting your language wiki to Wikidata, which enables you to automatically pull infobox like feature on your language wiki. And the interesting thing about it is that you do not need to have any special skills to be able to do that. You don't need to be very technical. You just need to understand how to use Wikidata templates, and the installation and process is very, very easy that anybody can do. Yeah, so I will briefly take you through what Wikidata Databox is and how that can help you power your language wiki. And the importance of using Wikidata is that, as we all know, when you open any article on Wikipedia, you see the info box, which comes usually with some very useful information, including maybe a picture or something. But for Wikidata Databox, it is even more nicer. It looks much nicer because all the data that you get there are automatically pulled from Wikidata. So once the Wikidata item is fully, updated or has so much content, you can easily have them appear as an info box on your language wiki.
So, Sadiq, Databox, I've heard, is a template that can make editors' lives easier, creating a ready-to-use info box on their wiki. Could you please show us an example?
Okay, thank you so much, Danny. On my screen now, you see a Wikidata item Ghana, which is Q117 item. So if you look at the item Ghana, you will see that the labels are described in different languages, and also there are statements and values attached. Now let's go to the Dagban Wikipedia, as I will be using that for my demonstration. Now because Dagban Wikipedia already has a Wikidata Databox installed, I can easily find that. So to be able to install that, I don't want to bore you with the installation process, but the most important thing you need to do is to copy an existing template on a language wiki like the Dagbani. So I can start by going to module, the Databox. So this is a template that I can just copy from the Dagbani. You copy the whole of that and then you paste it. After installing this, you have to also install the generic template and then also the Wikidata Databox template. So you can also install the template column Databox. This
So,
is the second template you'll be using. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you, Sadik. I just want to check that if you want to be able to use the template, you need to have the module installed.
Yes, please.
You
and the process are very simple.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 process. So you install the Wikidata module template, and then the Databox template, the generic template also, and then the template itself for Databox. These are the 3 things you need to install to be able to have your Databox active for your language wiki. So once you are able to do that, I think we can do that later, maybe in another session, but this is just a simple process to do. I also want to share that it is very easy. You don't need any technical skills to be able to do this. Now let's go to Dagbani Wikipedia. Then I search Ghana, an article Ghana on the Dagbani Wikipedia. Now, if you look at this info box here, it is quite similar to the traditional info box we have on English Wikipedia, like this. If you go to English Wikipedia, then I search on Ghana. So I will show you the difference between traditional info box and a data box. So this is the traditional data box, info box, sorry, in English Wikipedia.
So this isn't using Wikidata on this info box.
Yes, so this isn't using Wikidata data box. And then when you go to the article Ghana on the Dagbani Wikipedia, you will see quite similar info box, but this is using Databox, which is pulled from the data is pulled from Wikidata. Now, how do we get this done? After installing, going through the 3 installation process, which is very simple. You just copy an existing template and paste it on your own language wiki. So you go to create, like search, make sure you search to ensure that it doesn't exist already, and then you create it, create the 3 steps. Once you are done with that, Databox should be fully activated on your language wiki. So now when I click on this, so we have read, edit source in Dagbani. So when I click on edit source, which is translated like this in Dagbani, I click on that, I should see the code. And this is basically what we need to have the info box appear like how we see it on the Dagbani article by adding the
just this one
data
line.
box. Yes, just this. Okay, I'm gonna clear this template. Also, it's not useful anymore. So this is the data box template. And when I take this off, I want to show you the difference between the article Ghana having an like a data box and without a data box. So when I clear that, by clearing this, I should preview to see how it looks. So when I preview or publish it, this is how it's going to look without any info box, right?
Yeah, so just completely gone.
Yes, it is completely gone.
And
But
all of that
when I
information
go,
is lost. Or not lost, but
yes,
missing.
yeah. So now let me cancel that. And then I go back to edit source. Publish. Okay, so to be able to add data box, you just need to put your template like this, curly bracket, data box, and then you close it. This is how you add the Wikidata-powered info box, data box onto your language Wikipedia. Once you are able to do this, you should see the article appearing very nicely. And the importance of using Databox, as we may already be aware, is that it beautifies articles. It also links Wikidata to Wikipedia articles in your language. And I can simply also like show you how you can add that on Wikidata. So if I go back to Wikidata, if I want to, after installing the template, the data box on my language wiki, I have to go to Wikidata and search for the Wikidata item Ghana. Then I scroll all the way to the down where I will see the Wikipedia entries. Yes, this is the Wikipedia entries. We have currently 256 entries for Ghana, which means Ghana, Wikidata knows Ghana in about 256 languages. So you should be able to see Dagbani also. If you go through DAG, you should see Dagbani, which means it has already been linked to Wikidata. This is it.
There
So
it is.
DAG, yeah. So once I add this, if it doesn't exist or you want to add it in a different language, you just go and type your language code and then you describe the item in your language. The spelling may be different. Sometimes it's the same as the English spelling. And then you just hit publish. So I don't want to add anything, but this is basically how you link it after installing Databox.
Okay.
And now, after doing that, you now come and add a template, and then you should see it appear like this. But if you don't add it to the Databox, Wikidata item, it's not going to work.
Okay, it has to be linked,
so,
right?
Yes, it has to be linked.
So you showed us before on the English Wikipedia that there's an info box there with information inside, and then here on the Dagbani one is the Wikidata-powered one. Why would an editor choose to use a Wikidata-powered info box over the other ones?
Good question. So if you look at the English version of the article Ghana, let me go edit source. Okay, it's semi-protected. Look at the structure of the info box. As I mentioned, info boxes are very difficult for especially newbies if you don't understand how templates works.
Maybe you could highlight where the info box is starting.
Yeah. Yes, so this is the beginning of the info box.
Wow.
And
okay.
to do this, you need to know how to edit templates. So as I said, most people just prefer to copy an existing template, and then they modify it. They will modify it and then use it on another, article.
Yeah.
Which is of a similar topic. Yeah. So all these things needs to be edited. For example, I want to edit an article called Togo. I probably would want to copy the same info box and just like change some of these things, like the national motto. It is not going to be freedom and justice, so I have to change it to Togo's national motto. And then also the image has to be changed, the coat of arms. This is a complex process, I must say. Then so many things, conventional long name, Republic of Ghana, all these needs to be changed. Most of the information there would not be applicable to the article Togo. But with Wikidata-powered infoboxes, that is Databox, it allows you to be able to just import the data directly from Wikidata. You don't need to do any customization. You don't need to add anything to it. As long as it is installed on your language wiki, you just need to add the templates on the Wikipedia article at the top, mostly the top left corner, and then you publish it and you should have everything up here. With Wikidata, I don't need to be worried about how much data I have on the infobox, or do I have to add something or remove something. With Wikidata-powered infobox, as long as the Wikidata item has been edited significantly, you should have everything appearing automatically on your language wiki after it is published. So this is the difference, and this is why you should be using Wikidata Databox, because with Tamale Senior High School, I may still have to add, if I compare that to another Wikipedia infobox, it may need like some additional information in the infobox section. But with Wikidata, you just need to edit the Wikidata item, and Wikidata, as it is collaboratively edited by so many people. So as people are working on the Wikidata item, it automatically updates on the infobox. But with templates, you have to actually go in there and make changes or make additions or subtractions. Yeah, so that's the most useful thing about Wikidata-powered infoboxes.
Cool. And I guess if you make a change on the Wikidata entry, let's say you update who the head of state is that automatically updated on all of the places that it's linked to?
Exactly. So once it is edited on Wikidata, it automatically updates on the Databox template in the Wikipedia article.
Okay, but whereas if you use the regular info boxes, you would have to manually update it, and it would only update the one that you are working on.
Yes, unfortunately.
Right, so it could be a real big time saver, I guess.
Yeah.
Is there a way I can choose which information is displayed in the data box? Like, does it display all of the information contained on the Wikidata item, or is there a way to customize it?
It actually pulls, I would say, most of the useful information on Wikidata, on the Wikidata item to the info box. And you don't really need to be bothered about what information you should, or whether you should customize it or not. I haven't explored that yet, but I think it brings all the most important information that you need as an info box to the Wikipedia article.
Great. And I think you mentioned earlier, so it's necessary to install it, but do you need to know how to code to install it?
Not at all. So you don't need to know how to code like Lua or Python or any programming language. You just need to know how to copy and paste, basically.
Okay.
So as I demonstrated, you have to search the template, which has already been installed in maybe another language, Wikipedia. And then you just click on edit source, copy the entire template information, and then you create a new template with the same name on the language that you are working on. Once you paste and publish it, you should be good to go. You don't need any other special technical skills to be able to do that.
Okay, great. Thank you, Sadik.